am Nicole Newman, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a lasagna. So let's go over our ingredients. First, you're going to need, I have 4 pounds of cottage cheese. Usually lasagna uses ricotta cheese in it. My mom always made hers with cottage cheese. That's the way I grew up with it. That's the way that I love it, prefer it this way. So you definitely could substitute the same amount of ricotta cheese if you would like. I like cottage cheese. I have a batch of my marinara sauce, and I have a link to that recipe below. And I also have some fresh pasta noodles. I have a demonstration on that, and I'll have a video coming on how to make fresh pasta soon. I'm going to go ahead and get started layering this though. Oh, we also have some mozzarella cheese and a little bit of Parmesan cheese here. I'm going to go ahead and get started layering this. I'm going to start with some sauce in the bottom of the pan, just so that way I have a good base for the noodles. We're just going to layer sauce, noodles, cheese several times throughout this. You can use a store-bought sauce. I love using, you can doctor it up or just use it as is. Maybe you have a great sauce that you really enjoy. I like to make my own at home. It's really inexpensive. There's not a lot in it. It goes pretty fast. So I have some pasta noodles here, and I'm just going to try and, I'm going to kind of measure them and see. That one's a pretty good length. Some of them are a little longer. You can do a store-bought pasta noodle too if you don't have a pasta roller, and if that's what you prefer. I just love fresh pasta. It's really soft and delicate. I've just got a knife in here that I'm just going to use kind of as a blade to kind of cut it. And then I'm just going to fill in. There was just a small little gap here. I'm just going to use it to fill in there to get my pasta there. So I have my noodles. I'm going to do some sauce. This will be our first layer. And then I'm going to put some of the cottage cheese down and then sprinkle it up with some mozzarella cheese. So we've got a good layer of sauce. Let's go ahead and get our cottage cheese down. I just kind of dot this around and then try and spread it as best that I can. Like I said, you can't use ricotta. This is just what my mom used growing up. It makes it really creamy and very creamy texture to the lasagna. I really like it, and a lot of people are always shocked to see that there's cottage cheese in there, not the ricotta cheese, and are always asking for the recipe. So here it is. Right, so I've got my cottage cheese down, and then I'm just going to go ahead and come in here with a handful of the mozzarella cheese and sprinkle that down. I have enough to do this about 3 layers. So this is our first one. I'm going to go ahead and repeat this 2 more times, just the sauce, the noodles, the sauce, the cheese, and then the mozzarella cheese. So my next layer is going to be another layer of noodles, and just keep building that up until we reach the top of our pan. It's going to be really full, but we're going to bake it on a sheet tray with some foil on it, because it probably will boil over. If you let it boil over in the oven, the house is going to smell terrible. It's not going to be good. If you just put it on the sheet tray, it's still going to boil over, but it won't be baking to the bottom of the oven. And if it gets too smoky, I can change out the foil really quick. Usually I don't have to do that though. So just going to go ahead, keep layering this up, and then we'll get it in the oven. I have it preheated to 350 degrees. Alright guys, so I finished laying out my lasagna. I have my Parmesan cheese that I'm going to sprinkle on the top layer, just to kind of give it a little bit of a different flavor on the very top. Have the 2 different cheeses. The Parmesan is going to be nice and nutty of a flavor, so I'm just going to sprinkle some of that on there. I'm going to bake this for about 40 minutes in the oven. Everything is pretty much cooked. I just want all the cheese to melt. I'm going to go ahead and cover it with some foil on top. And then I have it on a foil-lined baking sheet. I'm just going to cover it with a little bit for the top and then bake it. And then in the last few minutes of its cook time, what I like to do is to put it on broil for just a few minutes, so that way I can get the cheese nice and bubbly and brown on top. It's going to be so good. It's going to start smelling amazing in here. I'm going to go ahead and get it in the oven. I'm going to just serve up a salad and some garlic bread with this. It's going to be simple, nothing too fancy, just a nice, good one-pot dish. I really love making lasagna, so one of my favorite foods, and it's definitely my husband's favorite food, so it's going to be a good dinner tonight. I'll see you soon. Alright guys, so I had my lasagna in the oven for about 35 minutes, and then I took it out and I let it rest for about 25 to 30 minutes. Now that seems like a long time, and it's really hard to do because it smells so good. All of the garlic and our sauce that we made is really fragrant. It's really hard to let it rest, but if you don't, it will not come out of the pan right. It looks more like lasagna soup because it's all hot and the layers don't stay together. Now I've served lasagna soup before when it's just my husband and I because we can't wait, but whenever I'm serving it for company, and since I made this for you guys, I wanted it to look pretty, so I did let it rest. You can see all of our layers here. We have our fresh noodles, we made our sauce, and it's going to be really creamy from the cottage cheese that we use. That's the way that my mom taught me to make it, and really just the way that I prefer over ricotta, but you certainly could use ricotta if you wanted. I just love it with the cottage cheese. You got to try it at least once. Our crust is nice and bubbly and brown. It's so delicious. I'm going to go ahead and give it a bite. That is good, guys. Really great, really creamy. Our fresh noodles, our homemade sauce, all working so well together. This is dinner. This is what you serve to company. This is get you a boyfriend, make somebody like you, fall in love with somebody kind of lasagna. This is delicious. So please let me know how yours turned out. You can tag me in your social media videos at #NicoleNewman'sKitchen, and I'll see you next time, guys.